Okay, David, thanks very much for taking part in this video. If elected MP for Glasgow North East, what would your priority be?
I suppose the key thing in overall terms is to try and spark a bit of hope in the communities that make up Glasgow North East, where sometimes that is lacking. You know, this is an area which has problems, sure, I'm sure everybody's seen that from watching the coverage of this by-election, but it's our job to show, and I firmly believe, that this area has a potential that far outweighs any of those problems. So it's really to outline the potential of this area in terms of education and the importance of education, in terms of jobs and creating jobs for this area, just making this place just a brilliant place to be. It's a great place to be already, but you know, to make it, or to work with the local communities, and together we can make this place, you know, more special than it already is.
Okay, David, why do you think it's important for young people to be involved in politics?
Well, I suppose that sometimes, well, young people, you know, there are, you know, I suppose young people are can't be considered as an amorphous block, and there are some young people who are interested in politics, and there are some who aren't, in the same way in the general population. There's some are and some people aren't, and amongst those who aren't, and the reality is that in this election probably the majority of people will not vote. There is a sense that politics doesn't really change anything. And I think I'm only 36, although if you're at school you probably think 36 is deeply ancient, but I've seen how politics does change things. When I was sitting higher modern studies at the start of my 5th year, the Soviet Union still existed, and apartheid still ruled in South Africa. By the end of my 5th year, both of those things had been swept into the dustbin of history, and that is just 2 examples on a grand scale of the difference that politics makes. And you can either get involved or not get involved, but I'd advise you to get involved. It's a noble thing to do, it's a fun thing to do, and it does make a difference. You know, miss out.
Okay, David. Right, here's a tough question. What's your favourite film?
My favourite film. Now I feel there's a sort of, you know, as you know, somebody with the wise old age of 36, that I should, you know, put forth a certain canon of filmic history, which young people can delve into and learn from. But so from the 1970s, I think if you haven't seen Blazing Saddles, directed and starring Mel Brooks, then I would advise Blazing Saddles. And actually it does deal with deeper issues as well, issues of race, but it's also ball-bouncingly funny. So Blazing Saddles. And then in a similar profound vein, I think Dumb and Dumber has to be a classic as well. So I'd have those 2 films up there. There are also certain films that come on late at night on TV, which no matter how tired I am, I'll always stay up and watch. Capricorn 1 from the 70s with Elliot Gould, conspiracy drama, very good. The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford.
I shouldn't know it because it shakes the camera, but yeah, right,
yeah. You're nodding in agreement there. Yeah. You can watch that. You know, so there's just a few films to look out from DVD on Amazon and have a look.
Great. Favourite album?
Favourite album? Now, this list of questions came in about 15 minutes ago. My press officer, I've got a press officer, how professional is that? Valerie, who's standing to the side of the camera here, she said say trendy things, but it would just be a lie if I started saying I get up in the morning and listen to Arctic Monkeys on my iPod. I don't, sorry. You know, there's kind of 2,000 years of music to take a stroll through, so why limit yourself to the modern or current moment, good as that may be. So, in recent times, I like, and Valerie's going to kill me for this, but I'd highly advise checking out Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass, A Taste of Honey and Other Delights. Great album. I think that in jazz terms, Chet Baker, deeply mournful, but trumpet player. I think he died after falling out of a hotel window in Amsterdam. But yeah, Chet's good, although if you're in a downbeat mood, don't listen to Chet. He'll take you to dark places you don't want to go.
What ringtone do you have on your mobile phone?
Again, this is where I show myself to be sort of, you know, archaic dad on the dance floor. I can't work out how to change the ringtone on my phone, so I've got myself a BlackBerry. Since leaving the BBC, I used to work with the BBC, but I've now had to get my own phone, and so I got myself a BlackBerry. Although the Scots word for a BlackBerry is a bramble, so I'm trying to call a BlackBerry a bramble. I think that's hugely important. You should all call BlackBerries brambles. But I can't work out how to change the ringtone, so I've just got the standard BlackBerry ringtone. So if you know a way to change my ringtone, and you probably 98% of the population do, but I'm part of the 2% who don't, and my press officer's shaking her head at that answer. So, but yeah, please help. There's probably a free phone number somewhere. Help me to change my ringtone. I want to change my ringtone.
Okay, David. Last question. Could you describe your perfect Saturday?
Perfect Saturday. I reckon it would. I'll be honest here. It would consist of getting up, which is always a good start, and probably going to Mass in my local parish at 10 AM. I like to start Saturday mornings with that, and a bit of prayer, and then to a local cafe for Saturday morning breakfast and the papers. You're in no rush because you're not working unless you're a political candidate, but that's a bit of an anomalous situation which doesn't persist forever. And then I quite like to take in the football, and as a political candidate I'm supposed to say that's Partick Thistle or St Mirren or some other non-Old Firm team, so that nobody can loathe you from either side of the divide. But it would be one of the Old Firm teams, but I'll leave you guessing which. And John
Speaking told us his.
Really? Alright, it's the Hoops. And and then later on, I've got a lovely family, lovely sisters, 3 sisters and a brother, and my mother's lovely as well. My dad died a few years ago, God rest him. And I quite like if a Saturday evening, that also involves quite a few nephews and nieces who are all sort of from age sort of 12 downwards. So I quite like of a Saturday evening going to one of my sisters, seeing the nephews, seeing the nieces. They're great company, you know, and the usual kind of DVD, big bag of chews, The Happy World of Haribo, a great taste that kids and adults love, and yeah, sort of Saturday night hanging out with the. That's quite a youthful phrase, isn't it? Hanging out with, yeah, wow.
Down with the kids,
down with the kids, and cowabunga. And so yeah, a Saturday evening with my family, who I'm quite keen on, and they've been just lovely throughout this whole campaign, very supportive, so thank you to them. And so spending time with them on a Saturday evening, and that would be for me, it's not an abnormal Saturday, it's quite a usual Saturday, but it's also the perfect Saturday as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dave.